Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGeek webinar series, our endeavor to impart techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Enriching your SharePoint applications by using Windows Azure DataMarket. And this is the fifth session in the cloud computing series that we have going on at TechGeek. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Girija Prasad Nanda, Lead Education and Research at Infosys Limited. Mr. Girija gathers an overall experience of 10 plus years in the areas of information technology and engineering, Microsoft related technologies, SharePoint, and Windows Azure are his key areas of work. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Mr. Girija.
Good afternoon to all of you. Welcome for the session on enriching your SharePoint applications by using Windows Azure DataMarket. Our agenda goes like this. We'll be talking about Marketplace as a whole. Then we'll talk about Windows Azure DataMarket. Further to that, we'll be discussing about SharePoint applications, especially its Excel web services, which is nothing but the business intelligence. Then we'll be fetching data from Windows Azure DataMarket by using one add-in that is used for Excel services. Okay, so essentially one Excel add-in. Further to that, we'll be talking about how we can integrate our DataMarket data sets into our Excel services. Once it is integrated with your Excel services, we'll be talking about how to analyze, how to slice it, how to dice it, then how we'll be publishing it to your SharePoint, and how we'll be including that into your various parts. So starting with Marketplace as a whole, so sale of data is ancient. We can take one instance. Reuter agency was established in Britain by Paul Reuter and existed even in 19th century, which was
Can you please be Mr. Loud, Mr. Girija?
Serving your bank.
Hello, can you please be Mr.
Okay.
Please be loud? Your voice is not clear.
Okay. So in Britain, Reuter agency, is it audible now? Moini,
Please be a bit more loud.
Moini, am I audible now?
Yeah, you can continue.
Hello?
Yeah, you're audible now. Please continue.
Okay. So essentially in 19th century, Paul Reuter established one agency called Reuter Agency, okay, which was covering commercial news, service banks, business firms, and brokerage houses. So the online information providers and consumers are mushrooming day by day, right? So which increases the need of scaling out of the data services, and this need is fulfilled by providing data online from your publishers to consumers by online marketplaces. Usually, when data is offered online, it is presumed that accessibility is easier, hence more users will be there for buying and selling. And still, there are some difficulties in online marketplaces, out of which some of the major concerns we'll be discussing here, like there must be online customers to buy data. Nowadays, most of the data are free. Hence, collecting money for the data may not be always feasible if you're talking from the seller's point of view. Second, there must be valid data available online to be bought. Most of the time, the data is private to an organization and sharing of that is not advisable. Then in these scenarios, selling of data is not at all possible. Third, developers, analysts are also to be there to consume this data in applications. They should be able to get the data easily, which end users are requiring for. And what are the different usefulness of your marketplace? Let's say I want to use one application to visit to a particular place by road, and I need to know the source and destination only. Let's say I'm going to develop that particular application. Later on, let's say I want to know the weather of the cities I would pass by. Then I would add the weather application to my apps. Then later, I want to find the shortest route to that particular destination. So I need to have the map information for that particular city. So essentially, I am using many data sets such as weather information, map information, etc. for my application. So one possible solution is a marketplace where I can get all the information for the creation of my application. Developers are the major consumers of this particular marketplace. Let's take another practical example of analytics. Let's say we have some consumers information which is captured when they access a particular site. What we can do is we can add IP addresses to know from where customers are trying to access this particular data. If you add another data such as geographic information to it along with the economic data, we can come to know the buying power of the customers at different geographies. This provides more valuable information as earlier, right? So marketplaces are essentially useful to help to discover and compare the data. They provide processed data which is there after thorough formatting and processing. Hence the data is ready to be used. Marketplaces provide an interface which helps wide access of data across geographies. Now coming to our point of discussion, which is Windows Azure DataMarket. It's difficult to move the data always to the computation, right? So big data principle states that it's easy to take the computation near to the data. This facilitates the combination of cloud computing with the data market. So Microsoft has also integrated its cloud computing facilities with the data market, and this was launched in 2010. Dallas was the code name for the cloud service which provides global marketplace for web services, for data, and for web analytics. This makes it convenient for the consumers to locate the data, analyze it, and integrate into the documents, Excel workbooks, Power Pivot, databases, etc. Developers can use the web services to consume the data, and this uses a standard protocol called OData for accessing the data by querying and updating. This is made possible by using other technologies such as HTTP, JSON to access the application services, stores, etc. This also provides a billing infrastructure, and Dallas works as an intermediary between your data consumers such as your office applications and custom desktop clients. We can handle authentications for your data market by using your access control service, popularly known as ACS. Essentially, Windows Azure DataMarket helps in discovering, purchasing, and managing the premium data subscriptions. This is a market where information and applications are bought and sold. Windows Azure provides both trusted public data and commercial data which are easy to discover, buy, and analyze. This is a place, or you can say global online market to buy and sell your software as a service applications and datasets. And you can place your application and datasets so that they can be accessible across the world using the cloud computing facility of Microsoft. Now proceeding further to a demo. Okay, so this is what is the data market for your Windows Azure. So I have placed https datamarket.azure.com in the URL. Then I need to log into the application. So I'll be signing in. It needs the live ID to log in. Here we can quickly discover and get public data, commercial data from various partners like your crime data, health data, retail data, manufacturing data, etc. Okay, so see here, this is the data tab. And in the left hand side, you can see depending upon the price, depending upon the category, depending upon the publishers, there are categories of different data. Okay, so under the price, we are having some of the data which are free, some of the data which are paid, and there is also a free trial. Okay, so to drive your business intelligence or certain decisions, here we can access real-time premium data sets. Okay, this is the place where you can access it. This is a one-stop shop for all data sets which has unified provisioning and billing mechanisms, having the ability to provide trial offers. So see here, there are around 72 free data sets. Okay. Similarly, under the categories, you can see there are automotive, industrial, aerospace, business and finance. And under the publishers, if you want to access a particular publisher, that also is possible. You can click on the publisher to access that particular data set. Okay. Other than that, you can also subscribe to free data sets which are available for you. Okay. So for me, see here, I have already availed two data sets which are free. Okay. Similar to that, you can also avail some of the data. See here, US air carrier data. It is showing me subscribed because I have already subscribed to it. Okay. Similarly, data.gov. Let's say this particular data you want to subscribe to. Okay. So what is the information that is providing? Let us see. I clicked on it. You can see it is a premium data which is costing me $446.43 per month. Okay. So if you go down, you can see the details of it. Who is the publisher, right? What is the category and when it is added. Similarly, below you can see the various images that are available. Okay. Other than that, if you want to see the details, you can see the service route URL. This you can make use of for the programming part, right? So this is essentially one web service. Even to the SharePoint, if you want to add this particular data, then you have to make use of the BCS, Business Connectivity Services, which will be using this service route URL for accessing your data, right? And this talks about what are the input parameters, what are the output parameters, etc. Okay, and there are different types. Other than that, if you go for publisher offer terms, you can see the terms and conditions as well from your various publishers. This is what is talking about that. Okay, so you can read through before you use the data in various applications. This also depicts what I can perform on the data set and what I cannot. Okay. Other than that, if you are accessing to your subscriptions, I have already subscribed to this data. Okay, so I'll click on one of the subscribed data. See here, you're having various options like explore this data set, Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel 2010, W software, learn how to use this data in Visual Studio. Okay, let's say I want to explore this data set, right? So what are the various options I can explore? You click on it, it will be opening in a new window. See here, this is the exact table structure that is containing, right? You'll be having a row ID, you'll be having state, city, year, population, violent crime, etc., etc. Okay, and this is what is your URL for current express query. Okay, so here itself, what you can do is you can Mohini, am I showing the URL now? I mean the Internet Explorer, is it visible to everybody?
No, only your PowerPoint presentation is visible.
Oh.
Please share your entire desktop rather than sharing the application.
Yeah, I have shared the whole screen itself. Okay, I'm sharing. Is the screen now shared?
You can see that now.
Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect. Okay, I was talking about this one. So datamarket.azure.com. So this is what is the URL to which you have to log in by using your Windows Live ID. Okay, then this is what is the home page, right? And I was showing you the data. Okay, so this one is talking about the various data sets that are present inside this marketplace. It is categorized depending upon the price, depending upon the category, and depending upon the publisher. Okay, so depending upon the price, some are free data sets, some are paid, and some are free trials. Okay, similarly, you'll be having different categories like consumer goods, data quality services, demographics, etc., etc. Similarly, if some user will be especially interested for some of the publishers, and if at all they are publishing their own data sets, that also they can be accessing to. Okay, so I was talking about this particular data set, okay, which I have already subscribed. Similar to that, these are the other data sources or data sets, you can say. So if I click on it, you can see that this is not free. Okay, there might be some trial details also. Okay, so this is currently having 1 month free trial, right? And 750 transactions per month will be costing you this much. Okay, similarly, these are the other details. You can see the sample images, you can see the details, you can see your publisher offer terms, right? And if you're clicking on details, you can see your service route URL, okay, which is not a web service which you can make use in your programming. Okay, so these are the various input parameters and these are the output parameters, right? And if you want to see the other details like a publisher offer terms, these are the terms and conditions you can refer to, okay, before using it. Now I will be showing you my account where I have subscribed to some of the data, right? I'll be going into my data where I have subscribed to these two data sets. I'll be clicking on this crime in United States, right? And as of now it is free, so I'm using it for free. Then explore this data set. It will be opening in a new window and you can see that the URL for current express query is this one, right? And what else you can do? See here, this is a row ID, this is a state, etc., etc. These are the various column details that you can see on the top. Then if you are expanding any of the drop down, see here you can include your queries, right? You can only fetch wherever the state is something or wherever the city is something, like that you can go on fetching. Okay, so you can essentially put a filter. Okay, so you can put filter on state, you can put filter on city, you can add multiple filters on different columns, right? There are 25,683 rows, so at a time only displaying 100 rows, right? You can filter out of that. Then what else you can do? In the top, you can see download options, right? You can download these details into Excel, right, as CSV file format. Similarly, you can directly download it to Power Pivot 2010 or Power Pivot 2013. Okay, so these are the various options that you can perform on a data set. Okay, now I'm moving back to your slide. Okay, so what are some of the advantages that you have seen in your data set? So you have seen that you can, or you are in control of the data, you are in control of the price, and you know what are the terms of usage of it. Okay, and also you can easily publish a data set or your applications into your cloud, right? Along with that, you can receive periodic reports and payouts, right? Let me show you another thing. Similar to your data, you are also having on applications, right? You can see a lot of different types of applications which are hosted in Azure. Similar to your data, here also you'll be having a free, paid, and free trial applications. Okay, along with that, you are also having another addition that is depending on the catalog. Okay, other than that, you are having categories, you are having publishers, right? And if I click on any of the applications, you can see what is the monthly usage if you are talking about 100 GB, if you are talking about 30 GB, if you are talking about 10 GB. Okay. Similarly, you'll be having your publish offer terms, your application feature is described here, and sample images are provided here. Okay. Now, proceeding further. Okay, so hope some of you might have already known about the SharePoint technology, right? So those who are not, please know that SharePoint is nothing but a web-based collaborative platform for enterprise computing and web, and you can perform document management, and also it provides easy creation of your websites. It provides many more web parts, your document libraries, lists, blogs, and many more. Okay, so it provides collaboration features, business intelligence features such as your business center. It also provides your KPIs. It provides Excel services, etc. It also provides enterprise search capability and provides a business connectivity services to connect to your external data, right? And it also provides many more other capabilities, but essentially we'll be concentrating only on Excel services, right? So Excel services was introduced in SharePoint 2007. By using these, we can load, we can display, calculate, we can share and reuse Microsoft Excel workbooks. Developers, analysts, managers can create the Excel and share with others by using your SharePoint 2010. You can control which sheet to display, which items to display in that particular sheet. Okay? So by using this, you do not have to install the client application, that is your Microsoft Office, in your desktop or laptop. Only you need is a browser to gain access to the Excel services. You can also interact with the Excel services by passing your parameters. You can sort depending upon certain values, and however, you will not be able to create a new workbook or edit the existing one by using your Excel services. Basically, there are 6 major components in your Excel services. One is Excel Web Access. Okay, so this particular diagram is talking about that. Okay, in the Excel Web Access, what happens? This is nothing but a web part which helps to view and interact with a browser with a workbook. Okay, so Excel Web Services. If you want to access the same workbook programmatically, then you need to make use of this web service. Right? You can use this web service to calculate a cell value. You can set a cell value. You can extract values from a cell or from the workbook, etc. But programmatically. Okay. Next to that, in the left-hand side, you can see user-defined functions. Okay. You can create custom functions using managed code, and that can be called in a cell by using a formulas. Right. Then HTML script. You can make use of the JavaScript object model to customize the web access web part. Okay. Then REST API, right? So this particular API enables us to access and view the workbook via URL, right? So the discovery methodology used here helps us to explore the content either programmatically, or you can also view it manually. Okay. Then finally, we'll be talking about Excel calculation services. This particular service helps to load workbooks, helps in calculating workbooks, helps to call custom UDFs or user-defined functions, helps to refresh external data, and also it helps to maintain the session state for interactivity. Session is maintained as long as the interactions are going on with the workbook, and closed if the user closes its a session or the session is timed out. It also helps in caching the workbook for performance benefit. Okay. When I say some of the benefits of your Excel services, that does not mean that it replaces your client application, that is your Office 2010 or Office Excel 2010 rather. Okay. Why I am saying so? Because whatever Excel services provides, it is only a subset of your total features that are there in your Excel. Okay. So essentially what it does not support, there are a very huge list, but I will talk about only few points, which is like information right management protection is not supported, activist controls are not supported, external references, like if it contains some links to other workbooks, that also is not supported, Excel maps, data validations, headers, footers, split and frozen panes, zooming in, zooming out. Okay, all these things are not supported in your Excel services. Okay, now with that as a concept, what you're going to do is we'll be talking about another add-in, okay, which is provided by your Azure, that is called Excel add-in to fetch the data from your Azure DataMarket. Okay, so the Microsoft Windows Azure Marketplace DataMarket add-in for Excel is a free application. Okay, currently it is in its CTP 3, which allows discovering and inputting of data from Windows Azure DataMarket. Okay, and the code name was Data Hub, right? So it is essentially integrated into Microsoft Office Excel, right? So this provides a simple experience allowing you to discover data sets published on the Windows Azure DataMarket. Okay, let me show you that. So what you need to do is you need to open Excel. Okay, you have to download that Excel add-in. You have to install it. Okay, then only that will be available for the usage. So what next you need to do is you can click on the data tab. Okay, and on the right hand side you can see import data from DataMarket. Okay, once your add-in is installed in your machine, then this will be added as a new feature, okay, or new add-in. Okay, so if you click on it, you can see Windows Azure Marketplace DataMarket is visible, and it is asking me whether you want to access a public data market or private data hub marketplace. Okay, so it depends on you which data set you want to refer to, right? So for me, I will be referring to public data market. I can click on sign in or create an account. Okay, I'll be clicking on sign in. It will be asking me again, the live is ready and its credentials. Okay, so I'll be providing the live user ID, and I will be trying to connect. Once it is connected, it will be asking me that my Excel add-in is trying to access or trying to gain access to this particular data set. Do you want to allow access? It is asking me, right? So allow access, click on it. Now see here in the bottom it is signing in, and once it is signed in, then it will be loading my data set. It is currently loading. Now, if you can recall, I subscribe to only 2 data sets, right? I'll be going into my account and I'll click on my data. See here, I have subscribed to only 2 data sets and those 2 are imported here, right? Now, what next? I'll be clicking on import data, okay, out of any of these 2 data sets. I'll click on import data. Now, do you want to import the data for the whole data set or you want to add certain filters to it? Okay, see here, this is what is the load data from. So this is what is the data set, that is a city crime. You can filter your results, you can sort your results, right? You can add sort order, you can limit number of results, you can specify return fields, right? Now let's say I want to add a filter, right, where my state is equal to something. Let me open the actual data to know the state. Okay, so these are the states. Let's say I want to fill the data for Alaska. Okay, so okay, I'll be inputting the data. I'll be adding the filter. Let's say state equal to Alaska. I'll be inputting it. See here how quick it has filled the data from. There are 80 rows, right, in the state of Alaska, right? And depending upon the city, you are having your year, right, 2007, 6, 8, etc. The number of population, then violent, then murders, etc., etc. These are the various crimes, right? So what you can do with this particular data, once you have fetched it, then what you can do, right? So you can use the business intelligence that is provided in your Excel itself, right? So what the managers can do, they can go here, they can insert, they can click on the pivot table. Either you can create a new pivot table or you can create a pivot chart. Okay, let's select here the pivot chart. I'll be selecting the whole pivot table itself or the table itself for this particular pivot chart, right? So the tabular range is table 1. I'm okay with that. Click OK. Then it will be inserting the pivot table along with the chart in it, right? Then I'll be choosing the fields to add to the report. I'm going to create a report, right? So I'll be selecting the state, I'll be selecting the city, I'll be selecting year, right? Then along with that, let's say I'll be selecting population, I'll be selecting what are the violent crimes conducted in individual cities in that particular year. Okay, maybe I can select year. Maybe in that particular city, what are the violent crimes that have been conducted in that particular state and city, right? So once the chart is created, I can put it here. I can slice it, I can dice it, I can create other charts also. That is up to you what you're going to do. But I'm just creating a very simple chart, okay, pivot chart. So what next I can do? Okay. So once your chart is ready, and once you have fetched all your data from your data sets and added some business intelligence and created some reports, that particular report you can upload to SharePoint. Okay. Now coming back to the discussion of SharePoint, before uploading, let me show you one thing. So here I have created one site collection. Okay. Those who are new to this particular discussion of SharePoint, let's assume that this is a typical website, okay, or a web application, right? Inside this, you are having a lot of provisions for creation of the document libraries, which are nothing but containers for documents. Okay. Then similar to that, you can also create your lists, right? So I have created here one document library called Excel services, which is nothing but to contain my Excel sheets that I'm going to publish. Remember, I cannot publish all my Excel sheets to any of the document library, rather anywhere into the site, until and unless I am adding it to the central admin's trusted location, right? So this is what is a central admin. So once I will be getting the access to it, then what I can do, I can click on the central admin, then go to application management. Okay, under the application management, you can see here one link called manage service applications. So I'll click on it. What I can do next is, here are the list of various services that are available inside this central admin. Okay, so you are having access service, business data connectivity services, like that you are having your Excel services. Okay, similar to that, there are a lot of other services, but we are concentrating only on Excel services. So we'll be clicking on it, and we'll be moving to another page, which will be talking about your global settings, trusted file locations, trusted data providers, data connection libraries, and you can also use a different function assemblies. But I'm only interested in these trusted file locations. So why so? Because until and unless I'm adding these Excel services, document library into that, then I will not be able to publish my Excel sheets into this location. So I'll be clicking on add trusted file location. I'll be pasting the URL that I have already copied from here. So this is what is your web application. Then this is what EXCL is the name of the document library. Okay. So once I have copied that, then I can keep the other settings as it is. Okay. Then you can click OK. So it is added here. Once it is added, that indicates that now whatever Excel services you have created, those are ready to be published into this particular location. So which location? This is the document library, and this is the location where I can publish it. Okay. So now I'll go back to my Excel sheet, right? I have already created some pivot table, pivot charts, right? So now this particular chart and table I want to publish, right? So how do I publish it? It is not like saving it. See here, click on file, save or save as is something different. But here you are having save and send, another option, right? So you will click on save and send, click on save to SharePoint, you will click on publish options. So what are the different options available? Okay. So see here, you can publish the entire workbook. You can publish only the sheets, right? Not the whole thing. If you want to show only sheet 4, not the sheet 1, then you can deselect it. Okay. Now I am interested to publish the items in the workbook. So what are the different items? Whatever are the charts, whatever are the pivot tables, whatever are the tables, I want to publish all these details. Okay. Similarly, if you have added any named ranges, then it will be coming as different parameters. For now, I do not have any named range, neither I have added any parameters to that particular sheet, right? That is why it will not coming for me. Otherwise, it would have added the parameters. So once it is ready, I can click OK. Now I can click on this Save As button in the bottom, right? So it will be opening the window. See here, what is the URL? It is not saving it somewhere into your disk, right? It is saving to this particular URL that I have created as a document library. See here, this is what is your document library URL, and it is the same URL, right? I can give some name, right? And I can click on save to upload into this document library. It will take some time, but see how it is trying to upload. I told you that it will be uploading, and it do not require, or it does not require the Excel client application. It requires only the browser, right? See here. Here it is Excel client application, right? But here it has published this particular chat. But how? See here how I'm accessing it. It is accessed in the URL itself. Okay. Even you can see the pivot table. You can see the table one. Okay. All these details we have hosted, right? So all these details you can see in this particular URL, right? So now you can see, you can refresh your page to see that particular link that Alaska XLS has been hosted. Not only that, what else you can do is you can go back to your site actions. You can go to view all site content, right? I told you that it can behave as a web part, right? If you're talking about the Excel web access, I told that this is nothing but behaves as a web part, right? Excel web access. So what I can do is I can go to my all site content. I'll be creating something. Okay, what I'm going to create? I'll be creating a new page, right? And let it be a special page called web part page, where I'll be able to add different web parts, right? So I'll be clicking on create, right? So it will be asking me what will be the name of it, name of that particular page. Then you can choose a particular layout or template. You can select any of these templates, right? And where you want to store this particular page. I'm keeping it in the site assets and click create. Then this is the page where I can add the web part, right? I'll click on it. My Excel web access comes under the business data category. So once I'm choosing that business data, under the web parts, this Excel web access comes. I'll add it. Now it will ask me, click here to open the tool pane so that the rest of the configurations I can do. I'll click on it. Then what is the workbook URL? This is what is the workbook URL, right? I've already copied from this particular path, right? This is the workbook URL till this one, right? I have already copied it, so I'm pasting it here. Then what is the named item? We had a lot of things, right? If you can recall, we had published here chat one, we have published here table one. So what exactly you want to display here, right? So let's say I want to display chat one. So once we click on that named item and click apply, okay, I need to give the name also, Alaska. Okay, then you go down to click on apply. You can see here the chat and click OK. I can save that page, and whenever we'll be going back to that particular page, you can see that particular chat. Okay, here you can also select pivot table. So essentially, what I intend to show you is once you'll be publishing that to any of the document library, okay, then you can make use of those particular Excel web parts, okay, to display that particular content, okay, whatever you have published, like your tables, like a power table, like a chart, etc., etc. Okay, so we had seen how to fetch the details by using the Excel add-in, and also how to analyze and host your data to your SharePoint. So I'm done with the content. So any questions?
Thanks for the insightful presentation. Let's quickly take up the questions now. Please read out the questions and their answers so that all our users may listen to the commentable insights.
All right. So Sridhar is asking, Sridhar Sivkumar is asking, how secure is the data stored in SharePoint? And can it be encrypted? Yes, Sridhar, in SharePoint, we are essentially integrating that with your SQL Server 2008 or 2008 R2. Okay, so all those SQL Server features or the authentication that is there, those can be integrated into SharePoint. And yes, using SQL Server, you can encrypt it. Ranganath Sriram is asking, may I know the add in name that we need to download? Okay. In the same page that I showed, your Windows Azure Marketplace, okay, you can go down to click on data. Okay, so essentially that name is Microsoft Windows Azure Marketplace DataMarket add-in for Excel. Okay, so the next question is by Bhaumik Joshi. Which are the big names to use this marketplace? Bhaumik, I did not get your exact question. Manishankar Bhattacharya is asking, is there any service to populate content database from Word document? Are you asking about SharePoint? Please clarify your question. If it is so, then yes, you can. Then Dhirendra Kumar is asking, hardware requirement for 500 users for SharePoint. If you are talking about SharePoint 2010, the hardware requirement will be at least 4 GB RAM, then 200 GB hard disk, at least. Better is always good. Bhaumik is again asking, which are the big names using this marketplace currently? Okay, one of the big name is obviously Microsoft. The rest is your Google, Amazon. They are also using the marketplace. Is it okay? Chandrakant Premdas is asking, is it possible to get data from CRM? Yes, it is possible. Virendra Kumar is asking, license cost depend on server or user count? Virendra, is it, I mean, the question related to SharePoint or the Windows Azure DataMarket? Can you please clarify it?
I think that's all. No, there's another question. I'm just assigning it to you.
Okay. Okay, how to publish our SharePoint data to Azure DataMarket? It's asked by Manisankha Bhattacharya. Okay, so currently what I was trying to do is I was buying the data from DataMarket. Okay, so in the reverse way you have to do that. You have to publish the data to Azure DataMarket to, to sell your data. In the same portal itself, you can do that. There is another option called publish. The way I had shown you applications data, my account, just next to that is a publish.
I think that's all. I'm really thankful to our guest speaker for conducting this webinar. It was indeed a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on techgeek.com by tomorrow. Thank you all.